Welcome to Maggie and Perloff on this Monday. Why can't the Bills just lose in a normal way? If they're going to lose, just lose like the normal team loses. Not 13 seconds now, not the Justin Jefferson catch that we're going to be watching on a repeat reel for the rest of our natural lives. Can they just lose in a regular way?
So you would take 27-13 loss compared to that last night?
Whatever. I just don't need overtime. I don't need somebody making the play of the year, okay? I don't need the Minnesota Vikings now being called like this is the most impressive win that anyone's had. For the second time in less than a calendar year, the Bills have been on the wrong side of the most epic game where they come out the losers. And now we have to dissect every part of this for the Bills. Congrats to the Vikings, by the way. Get to you in a second. But now we have to dissect all the ways that the Bills choked this game away. And
there are a lot. I mean, we only have a 3-hour show, Maggie.
Where do you want to start?
Should we do a side podcast on it? Because I don't know if 3 hours. By the way, isn't it amazing? You could say last night was a mini Minneapolis Miracle, and the two players involved in the original Minneapolis Miracle, Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs, are on the Bills, actually.
Yeah.
Everybody gets miracles against the Bills.
Yeah, isn't that wild? We can go back to DeAndre Hopkins catching a Hail Mary against the Bills with the Cardinals. I mean, how far with the Texans? How far back do you want to go here with Bills losses? You want to go back to the 90s? I mean, ever want to drink my misery today?
Any conversation would be remiss if we didn't at least mention the Music City Miracle as well.
Why not?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's do it. Pile on. And you know the thing is that the Bills deserve to lose yesterday. And that's what I am so wrestling with, because the defense did what they needed to do, right? They had the game won. They had the game won. Can I repeat that? Who stops a quarterback?
Which time? Which time?
At the
Sorry,
goal line.
I don't even know what you're referring to.
If it wasn't so funny, I'd be under the table crying.
You have to understand,
it's
Maggie,
pretty funny.
Yeah,
Mike, Stu, and I, we were all watching that game thinking of you 100% of the time. And half of America was thinking, wow, this must be hard for Maggie. I couldn't even separate you from the outcome of the field. I honestly, if you were next to me, there'd be a bad play against the Bills, I'd look over at the imaginary Maggie and say, wow, that must hurt. That must hurt.
Can I freaking call plays then? Can I do a better job than the Bills offensive coordinator yesterday and Ken Dorsey? Can I kick a field goal on a 4th and 2 to go up 30-17 to maintain your lead? Or how about this? Even if you are hell-bent on trying to get a touchdown there to go up by 3 scores, can you run the ball on a 2nd and 3? Are the Bills allergic to running the ball? Because this is what happens in the second half. They ran the ball 8 times. So instead of sitting on a lead, you're just handing the ball back to Kirk Cousins, handing the ball back to him. And Justin Jefferson finally does this like superhero impersonation where he was not going to be denied. And then what makes it even worse is that, again, the Bills defense gets a stop on 4th and inches. I mean, when does that happen? You get a stop where Kirk Cousins' shoulder goes down before he extends the ball, and you return the favor with a fumble. Wow, how?
I can actually tell the story of the entire game in 5 tweets, if you don't mind, because I'm actually considering turning this into a screenplay or maybe a rock opera. These are 5 tweets that sort of sum up everything you just said. Starting with, it doesn't have the hour, but we can imagine what hour it was. From Maggie Gray, the Bills running the ball 3 times in a row is like seeing Bigfoot. Next one, Josh Allen is truly the QB Bills fans hope for 20 years. So this is the guy that you're ripping. He is a miracle. Yes. He's a literal miracle lands on your team, and you're not totally satisfied with him. Let's go on. Diggs is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. Very true. Had an incredible one-handed catch. The second you send that tweet, Justin Jefferson must have had his phone on him because he heard it. He refused to be stopped the rest of the game. He's like, the new Vikings wide receiver was mad about your tweet about the old Vikings wide receiver. Then, this is my favorite one. 23 hours ago, and spelled A-N-N-N-N-D, there goes the season, off of a Josh Allen throwing an interception and tried to tackle the guy and hurt his elbow, was down on the ground, which I knew immediately that was out of shame for throwing that interception. And
I thought the season was over. I thought he had injured himself. He looked like he was crying. I don't know.
Because you have been beat down to the point where you expect everything to go wrong. And the last one, I'm dead. How did the Bills lose this game twice? How did the That pretty much, that one just sums it up. That should be your epitaph. All right, your gravestone. I'm dead. How did the Bills lose this game twice? Which, by the way, is evergreen. You might as well, you should pin this and just put it there.
I really would. I really want that to be on my gravestone now.
Yeah.
I'm dead. How did the Bills lose this game?
Yeah, there we go. Maggie Gray. She was loved by her family.
Yes.
Now she's dead. How did the Bills lose
Bills
this?
fan. How did the Bills lose this
Now,
game?
can I just try to put a little bit of a positive spin on this?
I don't want to hear that right now.
Wait. Do you know where we were? We were in this studio 3 days ago. Your franchise quarterback needed Tommy John surgery and was never going to play again. And you were worried about Case Keenum having to go in there, which they would have won the game because they would have played conservatively. Anyway,
Maybe.
you were worried about that. Josh Allen goes out there and has one of the great games. He throws 6 carries for 84 yards with a broken elbow, throws for over 300 yards. He's healthy. They lose a completely meaningless game, a game that you yourself said was totally meaningless in the standings. And now they are favored in every game for the rest of the season. There's not a team they play, except maybe at Cincinnati in week 17, they will not be at least a field goal favorite.
I know, but they were favored in this game. Like, that to me
They basically won this game 3 times.
No, they lost this game twice. See, that's the difference between you and me. Yes, it looked like they won it 3 times. To me, they lost it twice. And they've lost it a myriad of ways.
And they cheated about 3 times, too, which is amazing.
Why, and no one even feels bad for the Bills now, because not only was Gabe Davis not a catch, no idea why that wasn't reviewed when they drove down and kicked the field goal to go to overtime, but they had 12 guys on the field on Dalvin Cook's 81-yard touchdown run. 12 dudes couldn't even bring down that guy. So, yeah.
I just to complete your torture, can I do an exercise that you're going to hate? You're going to hate it.
Well,
Show me the losses on this schedule. They host Cleveland next week.
Wait, I don't want to hear this. They lost to the Jets last week.
There's no way.
I'm sorry.
They go to Detroit. They go to New England, who's not good this year. They host the Jets. They host the Dolphins, who with revenge on their mind. They go to Chicago, who can't beat anybody. Then at the Bengals, and then New England at home. There's a lot of W's left. To start, I know you're worried about the playoffs. I just know it. Go ahead, say it.
Okay, wait, can I counter that stat with a stat of my own?
Please.
May I? As the prosecution against this Bills team, as I am prosecuting them, even though I'm a fan of them. How about this for a stat? The Bills haven't scored a touchdown in the second half of a game since Kansas City. That was a month ago. The second halves of these games have been atrocious for Buffalo. What is the point of building up big leads if you are not going to attempt to take time off the clock with sustained drives on offense? Why even trade for Nyheim Hines if he's going to play 5 snaps? Why draft James Cook in the second round if he's not going to play? And Devin Singletary, wake up, Buffalo. He's a good running back. Why they don't utilize him? Where's the creativity? And I don't know if it's Brian Daboll. Maybe it left with Daboll. But this is looking a lot like
because they ran so well last year.
Well, Josh Allen inconsistent from 2018, 2019. 2020 was incredible. It's just been too much of the bad Josh in these second halves.
So Josh
and the
Allen,
sad thing is that the only prayer that the Bills have of actually going to the Super Bowl is on Josh Allen. He's the only one who can get them there. So he's your greatest strength, and when his decision-making is all messed up, he's also a liability. It's being stuck in this place. I'd rather have him than not have him, but yesterday was brutal.
You know he didn't practice this week.
Did he look hurt?
Not at all.
Exactly.
So I think you should be optimistic about that. You should come away from that game and say, you know what? We obviously can't win a game without Jordan Poyer on the field.
Yeah, well.
At some point, the defense hopefully gets a little bit healthier.
Yep. Could have used Tre'Davious White yesterday on Justin Jefferson, but he hasn't played all year.
Definitely cut that for the game later on in the year when Devin Singletary
fumbles the ball 3 times.
14 times for 19 yards, and Josh Allen's in 3rd and 9 consistently, like every other team in the NFL. Come on. I mean, what team is not all about that? You think Patrick Mahomes isn't the key to the Chiefs? Of course he's the key. It's okay. It's the NFL in 2022. And you deep inside know the best thing that could happen to this team is they go on the road in the playoffs. They need warm weather. That's the worst thing that will happen. They need warm weather. We've already seen them on the road in the playoffs. They need to go to Miami in January. They cannot play that game in Buffalo because Josh Allen is, he is basically brittle now.
No,
he needs to be in Miami with the retirees.
He needs to put on like a pair of like Sansabelt slacks and just go to the shuffleboard court. This is the thing. The team is not built to play in cold weather.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. They're built for a dome, which is why I thought when the new stadium, the renderings came out, I thought it was going to have a dome on it. It doesn't. They also built a team to beat the Chiefs. Well, it turns out they can beat the Chiefs in the regular season, but playoffs are a different story because they haven't had home field advantage. So let's see what happens if Kansas City had to come to Buffalo. Now, those thoughts are so far from my mind now. Like, this is the problem, too, about the Bills, and this is what scares me about them. And anyone who's a fan of a team like the Bills, and actually like the Vikings, like the Jets, they don't have a winning culture to rely on and to fall back on. In fact, it's the opposite. This is sort of the thing that usually happens to the Bills. I saw a lot of this yesterday, like Vikings fans just happy it wasn't them this time, and it was the Bills this time. And Von Miller is there now to try to keep this team, show them the winning way. And you heard Stephon Diggs say yesterday, Von Miller tells us that we can't blink, and we're starting to blink. So
yeah, I saw that quote. I do not understand it all. I tried to read it 3 times. What does that mean?
I think they're starting to feel the pressure. They're starting to feel hesitant. They're starting to, not feel confident.
Okay,
that's scary.
This was a regular season game that fluky things happened. I think they were a little rusty because Josh Allen has not been himself. I am going to find right now on DraftKings, the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
I love DraftKings, but I don't want to hear it.
The win total for the Buffalo Bills, and I am betting over. Because whatever it is, I'm telling you, this was good. This is actually going to be a good loss. This is going to be a rallying cry. Usually this happens in the postseason. This is a regular season.
They've had bad ones in the regular season. To their credit, they usually bounce back. Last year against Tampa Bay, that was a tough one. You lose in Tampa.
Nobody cares about those.
Okay, sorry.
Last year's loss in Tampa Bay. Come on, this is the franchise with the most playoff big time losses, game of the year losses that we know.
I know.
They're going to be fine.
The minutia.
They're going to be fine. Are you really worried about the playoffs because you have the Jets and the Dolphins? Okay.
I am worried about the playoffs. Of course I am. I'm worried about Miami.
Worried that they won't make it.
And?
Yes, and the Jets. Okay, I said it. I'm there. I'm worried about everything. I'm worried about...
You're worried that the New York Jets are going to get in over the Bills.
They're above them right now, and they got the tiebreaker.
Samter doing a victory dance here, week 10, is not making me feel too great about it. But I still think that they are a playoff team. Yes, I do. But I worry about when they get there. But if Allen keeps playing like this in second halves, then they're not going to. Because it doesn't matter how big of a lead you built up. You'd still have good players on the other side. Look what Minnesota did. It basically took a miracle catch by Justin Jefferson that Cam Lewis couldn't knock away. Okay. And then Cousins comes up with this incredible throw to Jefferson down at the 1 yard line, between 2 defenders.
Yeah. We all saw it. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let that go.
I'm looking for the team totals. Do you realize who the Super Bowl favorite for your NFL 2022 is still?
You know what? I don't want to hear it.
They're the Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah, but see, you want to know what else bothers me about this?
And I know
it's setting everything up for the fall. They're the Super Bowl favorites. What happened to the Super Bowl favorites? What happened to the Bills? Geez, I guess they must really stink. This part of it, the pile-on narrative, too, of geez, how disappointing they are and how disappointing their season is going to be. Oh, my gosh, I'm sick to my stomach.
How are the Bills still the favorite?
Because they're awesome. Because
I know they're awesome,
they had a quarterback who did practice, and they just basically beat the bleep out of a team that's the second best record in the entire NFL and just happened to let off the gas in the second half.
The third place in their division. The Chiefs are rolling. The Eagles are red hot. The Vikings just beat them on the road in their own house. I understand that they should still be a top 3 or 4 Super Bowl team, but number 1, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Me neither. And I think Josh Allen basically just kissed the MVP goodbye too. I'm less concerned about that, but for him personally, I know how much he cares and wants the Bills to win. It's not for a lack of effort, and sometimes it's too much hero ball. It's too much.
There's 8 regular season games left. I think there's a lot. Maybe, how about you say this is an opportunity to learn? This is an opportunity for the team to work with what Josh Allen does well and maybe help him avoid some of those mistakes.
I would love that. I think that would be great.
But it doesn't sound like that's something you expect as a Bills fan.
2-9 in 1-score games. I mean, that you can't teach. You know, there's some of this stuff that I think you do practice for in the 2-minute and all that stuff. And we saw them move the ball down and kick the field goal, go to overtime. But some of the stuff you just can't teach, which is your decision making in the moment. It's to not throw the ball to Patrick Peterson 2 times in the end zone. You know, I don't know what you do at practice to simulate that kind of pressure. I don't know. Anyway.
So, okay. But one of them was on 4th down, and the other, that last play was complicated. That was a mess up play. It's not like he was throwing it willy-nilly all over the field. He was great yesterday.
He was. The last play where he throws the interception to Peterson was on 2nd down.
Yeah, I felt like he got tired or something. I don't know. Explain to me. I never even saw the explanation because there wasn't a Bills receiver on the screen.
He was trying to go to Gabe Davis, who looked like he was about 100 feet away. I can't.
Yeah, Gabe Davis, who had somebody else on him, too.
He took 20 hits, ran the ball way too much. I mean, of course he's going to be tired in overtime. This is what happens. Part of it is poise, and part of it is he's just gassed at the end of these games.
Oh, well, congrats to the Vikings. To you. 8-1. Did that sound disingenuous? I meant it. Good job out of you guys.
Kind of a weak 8-1, but
what am I going to say? They just beat my team. What am I going to say? I'm going to call it a week 8-1.
I just, there's another team.
That's a week 7-0.
There's another team
yeah.
that has an 8-0 record compared to 8-1.
Oh, wearing the Eagles gear today.
Yeah, strong
Nice
8 wins, too.
Well, it's going to be strong 9 wins in about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Tough game there.
Like your
the
gangrene has done anything impressive?
We beat the Packers and the Bills. Those are 2 good teams. Well, I guess not the Packers, but it counts.
The Eagles get the Commanders coming up next. Sorry, was the University of DC not available? Could you get a team that's even less?
Okay.
The easiest schedule going.
I think for a lot of Bills fans, yesterday's loss to the Vikings is the hardest of the season. But I think in this building, losing to Sanders Jets has ruined everything for all of us. Until Buffalo, until your Bills get the Jets back in the building and shut him up, I'm going to call my friend Case Keenum and tell him what's at stake in that game.
Yes.
He better get Josh Allen, light a flame under that guy. They have to beat the Jets because him being cocky about the Jets is unbearable.
So glad I don't have Case's number. I'm so glad. Oh. Don't give it to me. I can't have it.
You know what would happen if Case had played last night?
No.
They would have kicked the field goal. They would have run the ball.
Maybe they would have kicked the field goal.
Their defense was killing the Vikings most of the game. Kirk Cousins couldn't do anything right the entire game. They should have just slowed down, and they would have won.
At one point, they shut down Jefferson at 35 consecutive plays or something, and then he just goes off. He was 5 catches for 88 yards just from the 4th quarter on.
And Kirk, I guess, is one of the lowest, the worst PFF numbers of anyone. I guess the first 3 quarters of the game, he wasn't doing anything he was supposed to. I didn't really notice that because it felt like it was an easy Bills win. I kind of stopped paying attention. Sorry. No, I didn't mean that as a dig.
Yes, I know.
As a digs.
Yeah, as a digs.
Most underrated receiver in the NFL.
Timestamp that tweet right before Justin Jefferson's amazing catch. Yeah, I did it to myself. Thank you for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, just hit the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Just hit the bell.